Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Spider Penguin. I know what the title and thumbnail say. Yes, absolutely. I have potential answers for those. But that'll be later in the video because the title also says that this is a summary of what I believe in the theory space of the topics of FNAF that I agree with and disagree with. I have some topics here, and I'm basically just going to share my thoughts on them. That's what this video is. And what's in the title and thumbnail is also one of the things I'm sharing my thoughts on. And I believe it to be really good, so stick around to the end. First off, number one is the MCI stuffing. What I mean by that is who stuffed the kids into the suits. I believe Puppet. I believe Puppet stuff always will, up until it's confirmed in the games, like directly shown to us in the games. Like if you made a Give Gifts, Give Life minigame with Purple Guy instead of Puppet, then I'd have to accept it. But to me, it just doesn't make much sense because how would William get the bodies from the safe room to the suits? Because we know he killed them in the safe room, and Help 1 and 1 is inaccurate. It's an in-universe game. It's Glitchtrap is potentially the mimic, and they're not even in the safe room. Therefore, they aren't reliable sources of how the missing kids died, or how Gabriel died at least. I believe Puppet went in to the safe room at night after the missing children incident, put the bodies in suits, and that's what I believe Give Gifts, Give Life is, and the FNAF 2 cutscenes. Uh, Next up, the retcon. I believe the one retcon that Scott mentions in one of his old posts from a while ago that happened before Sister Location, that he said not many people noticed or something like that. I believe that is the 20 years thing. The 20 years line from Phone Guy, where in FNAF 1 he says, if I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I didn't get a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too. I believe that is the retcon. Just, it seems obvious now. So, yeah. Golden Freddy, is he physical or not in FNAF 1 and FNAF 2? I believe there is a real suit in the building somewhere. I believe there is a spirit possessing that suit. But I also believe that Golden Freddy's spirit can project itself to an extent, which is why Golden Freddy appears in your office in FNAF 1 and 2. As well as maybe leave the suit, potentially, if the Follow Me games are correct. Or it could have gotten dismantled, but I highly doubt that because I believe Follow Me takes place in between FNAF 1 and 2, personally. At least right now. Are the toys possessed? Okay. Do I believe the toys are possessed? No. I do not. I don't even think there is a DCI. If there was, I think it might have been retconned, but I don't think there was in the first place. Yeah, there's not much to go over with that. Happy Stay Receiver. Okay. Yeah, so I have Happy Stay Receiver, and then I have Happy Stay Timeline Placement. But I'm gonna do Happy Stay Receiver first. To an extent, I don't exactly know what I believe about Happy Stay Receiver because this also goes with the Vengeful Spirit. But for now, I am going to say, here's the thing: the Happiest Day Receiver points to more evidence with it being the crying child. However, if the FNAF World player was made for one thing, and that player could be Cassidy, then I do think that Happiest Day in FNAF 3 is not Crying Child's Happiest Day. I believe Happiest Day currently to be Cassidy, the receiver, because in the survival logbook, it shows what is potentially Cassidy getting cake from the puppet. Although that might, now that I'm thinking about it, that could just be a reference to how a puppet would give gifts and such. So I am unclear with this. I do not know. I'm rooting. I'm going towards Cassidy, but my opinion could change any day now. Same as the Vengeful Spirit. The Vengeful Spirit. I'm gonna just get that out of the way now. I don't think it's Andrew for reasons I'll state later in the video. But it could either be a boy version of Cassidy because we just never seen what Cassidy really looks like in the games, or it could also maybe be the crying child, which I'm not gonna call him Dave because I don't believe in that theory, but it could be Cece. I'd have to look more into it and see the possibilities of it, and see the implications and the whole why of is Cece doing this and stuff. But for now, I think I'm gonna say it's Cassidy as well, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, happiest day timeline placement. For now, I believe it's after FNAF 6, during UCN and FNAF World. I believe that is when it takes place. UCN, Happiest Day, and FNAF World are all happening roughly around the same time after FNAF 6, and that is what I believe. FNAF 3 Fire, who said it? I controversial. I believe Puppet set the fire because she was in the building, and here's the thing: Mike didn't really seem angry with his dad when he spoke to him in FNAF 6 location in the ending when he said, "Father, it's me, Michael," and he said, "I'm going to come find you." I know that Scott, I think, somewhere said that last "I'm going to come find you" was supposed to be more aggressive, but it does. The first one didn't sound aggressive at all, and I just don't entirely understand where Mike would have learned about all of this stuff. Anyway, I believe Puppet set the fire because she was in the building. Sister locations timeline placement. I kind of just went over this. I believe it takes place in between FNAF 1 and 3. Midnight Motorist, Death Order, and then Stitchline Games. This is the big thing of the video. Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, let's say Orange Guy is William, okay? Let's say he's William. Let's say Five Laps at Freddy's currently is correct, up until it may be retconned or whatever. Let's say 5 Laps at Freddy's is correct. Then I do fully believe John FNAF's Ultimate Midnight Motorist theory that he recently put out, the one where he says Susie's dog is buried in the mound, and it takes place after Charlotte's death, and Crying Child is the runaway. I truly do believe that Michael is the chairman sitting, is the person in the chair in Midnight Motorist. At least for now, the only other person I could ever think of it being is Henry. But I feel like it has too many connections to Mike that it wouldn't be Henry, that it just kind of has to be Mike. Though it could be Henry, but I don't think it is. Let's say that John FNAF's theory on that is right, and the death order is in fact Susie, or the dog, Susie, the missing kids, Charlotte, and Cece. That could very well be the case, especially with the whole UCN, not sister location, UCN line of I was the first, I've seen everything from Withered Chica, which I think that was Scott clarifying who dies first, because if we play FNAF 6 and see the insanity ending will, like, say, oh wait, a wound first inflicted on me is Charlie, therefore Charlie dies first. But that wound could mean other things. There have been other possibilities, such as the business closing or something before that, like in Fall Fest. Um, I don't know what it would have meant at the time of FNAF 6 coming out when the game series was ending, but yeah. Because that UCN line of Chica, of with the Chica saying I was the first, that seems very on the nose and as confirmed as you can really get. Because if she's saying she was the first missing children to die, why would that matter? Like, why do we need to know the order of the missing kids' deaths when they all happened on presumably the same day? Even if they didn't, why would we need to know the order of the missing kids' deaths when we know when we can just learn about the whole death total as a whole? It just, that to me doesn't really like make sense. It doesn't mean anything if it's about I was the first missing kid, especially if you said I have seen everything. That makes it seem like she's been watching as a ghost. Like she died and then she's been watching all the other events unfold. Oh, that might actually explain. No, never mind. Never mind. I thought of something and then I was like, nope, that doesn't work. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go and say that MCI 83 for now. My opinion could also, like the other thing I mentioned in this video, change any day now, but I'm pretty sure this is the intended answer if William is Orange Guy, because you can't connect all three minigames together in any other way. I've never seen it been done. There's no other explanation for connecting all three minigames, because all three of them have to unlock the Lore Keeper ending. So I don't see why you wouldn't connect all three of them. I'm just gonna go out and say that if you just connect to Midnight Motorist, or I guess later that night, and Security Puppet without including Free Maze, you are solving the thing very wrong, because it's clear it should be connecting all three minigames. All three of them are needed to unlock the Lore Keeper ending. And plus, the Help Wanted grave order cannot be the release order. The Help Wanted 2 grave order that we light the graves, the candle thingies, in the graves, being Susie first and Puppet last, I don't believe that's the release order, because that's not telling us anything. And I don't believe it's when the animatronics were possessed or stuffed, because Puppet should not have been possessed after the missing kids. And that also doesn't tell us anything. It just says that Security Puppet stuffed the kids, and that doesn't do anything for the lore, for the wider lore. That isn't. What's the point? The only way I can see this working is if that grave was very meant to deliberately say that Susie was the first victim. It has to be the death order. It's the only thing that tells us of any lore importance. And if it's the latest thing that comes out, I just don't see it being any other thing, and being any other thing of importance without it being the death order. I apologize for all the rambling. I'm not really good at this, but this is my first FNAF theory. And finally, I guess Stitchline games. If the missing children died in 1983, then Stitchline games has been proven wrong, because 1985 is the year the missing kids die in Into the Pit, and Into the Pit is part of the Stitch line. So the Fazbear's Frights books being canon is absolutely incorrect if Afton is the man in orange. because there's no other way you can spin it. And unless there is one possibility, one actual possibility that was hinted at in Five Laps at Freddy's, that Charlie died in 1987. If Charlie died in 1987, then that leaves the door open for a few other possible things, like the missing kids dying in 1985, like they do in both sets of books. However, if Charlie dies in 1987 and then Afton rushes home that night, who the heck is the runaway? Because the crying child should be dead. And if Michael is the runaway, then who is the person sitting on the chair that looks exactly like Michael? Like, seriously? It could be Henry, but I just don't see that happening. I don't know. It feels weird. Especially since we have 3 traits relating to Michael. Gray shirt, gray text, TV. So yeah. Although if I was designing the minigame, I would have definitely put the Foxy mask on him. But that might also be a hint that it's Henry, because he doesn't have a Foxy mask. But yeah. I don't think we were supposed to argue about the book's canonicity for this long, for 5 years now. I don't think that's what Scott intended. So I think Help Wanted was a way of clearing it up, saying, okay, the missing children died in 1983, or at the very least before the puppet. And I know you guys may be saying, why would 85 keep popping up if it's not the right order? If it's not the right date for the deaths, if for the missing kids? But here's the thing. They're doing that. They might be doing that, at least, if Scott even knew about the 85 thing. If he did not know about the 85 thing, then it very well could be that the book writers just put 85 in there because it was the date that the missing kids died in the novels, and so that's what they have to go off of. If Scott knew that the 85 thing was there, he could have put it there to say, this is not the main universe. This is not the game's universe. I currently believe if Afton is the Midnight Motorist driver, if he's the orange guy, and if Charlie dies in 1983, then there's only one possibility, and that's that the missing kids died first in 1983. It's not an entirely unique theory, because the missing kids died in 1983, back when Mike Victim was a thing. Back when Matt Pat made his final FNAF timeline after UCN. That's when the missing children's incident was the first event in the franchise in that timeline. So it's not like it's completely unheard of. So yeah. Anyway, this video has gone on for 22 minutes. Or, well, actually less than that, because I would have edited some things out. I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my explanation of some of these theories. And, yeah. I hope this provided you with a new possibility. Stitch Lion isn't canon and was never meant to be, and Midnight Motorist and the Death Order, the missing kids died in 83. Possibilities. So, yeah. Hope you guys liked the video. Please comment, please subscribe, and share the video, because that'll help me out a ton. And turn on the notifications so you never miss another upload. Any uploads. And I will see you guys next time. Subscribing will help out a lot, because I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers. And I want to live stream games and such, mostly. So yeah, not that I don't want to do FNAF content. I actually really enjoyed this, but not working with scripts, not working with a script, working without a script is hard. and I prefer to work without a script. So, yeah. See you guys later. Bye.